I dare you to walk through the West End of London after 9 o'clock of an evening wearing jewellery. You wouldn't do it. The genuine fears that mothers have, particularly for teenage kids, when we know already that an Afghan male has a 22 times more likely chance of being convicted of rape than somebody born in this country.
What is your plan to tackle the mental health difficulties in the prisons? You cannot separate mental health treatment and a lack thereof, perhaps, in prisons with the criminal justice system and the prison population. So what are your plans to actually deal with some of the mental health crises that are happening in prisons? And if I may, is this Project Fear? Are you trying to make people afraid and trying to steer them into fear, and therefore that is the way you will get them to vote for you?
No, they are afraid. They are afraid. I dare you to walk through the West End of London after 9 o'clock of an evening wearing jewellery. You wouldn't do it. You know that I'm right. You wouldn't do it. And that's just in London, let alone what's happening in so many other parts of the country. And the genuine fears that mothers have, particularly for teenage kids, when we know already that an Afghan male has a 22 times more likely chance of being convicted of rape than somebody born in this country. The fact that 40% of sexual assaults in London over the course of the last 5 years have been committed by those born overseas. You know, we have to recognise something. There are some people who come from certain cultures that pose a danger to our society. It's as simple as that. As for our prisons policy, well, I mean, goodness gracious me, why don't you give us a chance? We're just setting up the task force to work these things out, unless you'd like to comment on that mental health problem.
Look, it is a fact there are a lot of people within our prisons who do have mental health issues. Thankfully, with the introduction of in-reach and outreach, things have got better. They're not right at the moment. There are issues with people being able to protect themselves and being put in prison, but what else do you do with them? And that is something that hopefully our task force will work through. But yes, I absolutely agree that there are a lot of people in prison with serious mental health issues because they've been put there because there's nowhere else, or people don't know what to do with them.
Thank you very much. Anya Pott from Channel 4 News.
You say migrants in hotels should be deported.
Mm-hmm.
Where should they be deported to if their country isn't safe or if another country won't accept them?
I'm sorry, I've had enough of this. If you come from Afghanistan, you go back to Afghanistan. End of. This idea we can't send people to certain countries, all the false claims that people make about their own personal lives. I'm sorry, we're done. We're done. We've had enough. Andy Bell, Channel 5 News.
Thank you. Andy Bell, 5 News. You talked earlier about boats being towed back to France. You must know that's a very dangerous operation. Are you prepared to take the risk that a boat could overturn because a British Border Force boat or a Royal Navy boat has got involved, trying to tow it, maybe trying to push it? Is that a risk you are prepared to take?
Well, I didn't talk about boats being towed to France. I talked about boats being towed to Indonesia, pointing out that in the end was the way the Australians sorted it out. Look, I want to make it very, very clear that the absolute, if everything else was to fail, we would tow the boats back to France, which the last time I looked was a relatively civilised and safe country. But I believe if you put all the other measures in place, you won't need to do that. Simple as. And by the way, what is dangerous and what is causing loss of life is us having a sign effectively up on the White Cliffs of Dover saying everyone welcome. To our knowledge, there are 18 that have died so far this year. Nearly 50 died last year.
But that wouldn't be a British boat or ship getting involved in trying to turn that boat around. That's my point.
Well, I do not think, I tell you what I really, really, really don't think, that after 800 million quid that the French Navy should be escorting boats to the 12-mile line in the way that they currently are. Natasha Clark, LBC.
Hi, Mr Farage. You said today that police need to be able to release as much information as possible about those potential offenders. So are you saying that they should, the police, in all cases, release the names, addresses and immigration status of people after they have been charged with an offence. Your critics will, of course, say that this is going to inflame community tensions. This could cause unrest on our streets. We are already seeing a very precarious situation. Is that not just going to make things far, far worse? Thank you.
What caused unrest on our streets after Southport last year was us not being told